What does it mean to train spiritually? I'm going to start with a verse that is 1 Timothy 4:8. And it says, "For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." When we think about training, we think about our bodies and the physical piece and going to the gym and getting exercise. But this is talking about spiritual training and how we don't want to put physical training above spiritual training, but yet a lot of our schedules all have where we carve out time to go to the gym or the intention of, but how often are we creating that same schedule or rhythm for our spiritual training? So today, I had went and did that, and so I'm going to speak on that. But I want to back up for just a moment and say where in my study Bible it says of some value. So this means the contrast, the short-term value of physical exercise with the long-term benefits of godliness for all things. So I want you to keep that in mind there, that contrast, that both are great, both have value, but the physical training is not as, it's for short term versus the spiritual training is for long term and eternity. So today I had the opportunity and the blessing to go to a friend's house that has a labyrinth garden. And so this is a prayer garden where you walk this path, and then when you get to the circle, then it's like your time with God, and so you're prepping your heart to get to the center to then spend time with God, and then you exit and repeat that. So there's only one path in and one path out. So during that, the first part of it, I had a lot of surrender and cleaning the air, the dirty laundry, if you will, of just apologizing to God for all the things that I was falling short of. And it was really cool. It was humbling. It was waking me up spiritually. And one thing that I found out was that I did not take enough Kleenexes with me. So 2 Kleenexes is not enough to go through this labyrinth garden. And so during it though, I just had, again, just all these little realizations of where I was falling short, and being able to openly admit those to God and just taking the time for Him. So this time that I was taking for Him would have been a workout time for me, but instead I chose to take this opportunity and to prioritize that time for spiritual training. So I thought that was kind of cool, the contrast of where it would have been my physical training time, but I turned it into a spiritual training time. And I was there for about an hour and a half, which typically at the gym, it's an hour-long class time, plus then with all the chit-chat and that, it usually turns into more than that. So I pretty much traded my time. But the feeling I had walking away from that was just like, that long-term piece. Like, I definitely felt that. I get that kind of feeling thereabouts with the physical training, or after you get done working out, you're kind of on that, they call it like a runner's high, right? You've just, moving your body, releasing all the endorphins and that. And so it's good, right? It's an addictive feeling to just feel good. And so taking that and the effects of that, take spiritual training and double that, 10 times that. It's almost like this piece of like, it's going to last for a while, and it's going to help you with the long term. And just, it's not just about today, it's about what's coming. So I thought that was a cool feeling, a cool realization of the parallels there, and that I was trading that time. And so I think the thing I want to share with you about my time there, and especially in the middle with God, is I was surrendering everything to Him, right? And just asking Him, like, what do you want me to do? And that's exactly what I did. I asked Him, I was like, what do I do? And because I just feel like I've not had as much clarity as what I want. And instead of talking to my husband and everybody else in my circle, that it's like I need to be talking to him with this same intentness, because he's the one that's going to give me the answers, because he knows me the best. So I was sitting there, and then I, just told him, I was like, you're the ultimate counselor. So here I am. Welcome to therapy, Jesus therapy. And so I said, I asked him, I was like, what do I do? And his response was simple, and it says, what motivates you? I'm like, God, like, you speak in such simple phrases and parables. We know those from the Bible, but from Jesus. But it's like, we are expecting a big old blueprint of exactly step A, step B, step C, like the subcategories and the microscopic details. And God's just given us one phrase, like a simple phrase. Like, that was 3 words that he gave me. And so, and so what motivates me, and so I'd come back with the piece of, I just want to see people get closer to him. And I like the feeling of watching someone take that next step in their journey, in their faith walk, that they just find like a little aha with God. Because I know what that feeling is for me, and I love it, and it's great, and the blessings that he gives me, and the closer I am to him, the more blessings I can see. I think they're always there. It's just whether you can see them or not. And that was another thing with a couple of bugs that were like off onto the side in this garden, that I noticed the bugs and all the pretty things about them. But anywho, so I just want people to feel that clarity and that peace that like I feel with him. And so as I'm sitting there, I just have this like immense feeling of kissing his feet. And we see that in the Bible. There's a story about that. And I thought, okay, well, imaginatively, I'm kissing his feet, and it was so sweet and so humbling, that I was humbling myself before the Lord and just thanking him. So if you think about what it would mean for you to kiss somebody's feet, there's probably a very, very small list of people that you would do that to. So keep that in mind as to that intimacy of whose feet you would want to kiss. So I took my hand and I kissed it, and I placed it on the rock that was there in the center. And then as I was walking away, in a true father fashion, I hear him telling me as I'm leaving the circle, that he says, where is that? I have it wrote down here. To remember what it means to kiss my feet. So as he's sending me off into the world, we've just had this amazing conversation, and he's sending me off into the world, and he tells me as a leaving gesture to remember what it means to kiss my feet. Okay, God. But it's, like whenever you think of a child leaving their house, and the dad just imparts this little bit of wisdom, as you're leaving, just to, remember to put your garbage cans at the curb on Fridays, or whatever, something silly like that, but they feel it's important. And so, so for him to tell me that, I'm just like, okay, God, that's what you want me to take from this. And so I'll remember that, because he knows that I'm flawed, and he knows that I'm still going to make mistakes and fall short, but he's ultimately there. And if I can just lay down at his feet and surrender to him, and show the humility, and know that he is the God over my life, the Lord of all lords, the King of all kings, that I'm going to be okay, because he provides it all. So yeah, it was just really cool. So I'm just very thankful to have had that opportunity, and to be able to take that time with God, and to get such a sweet message from him. And again, such a simple phrase, and yet it's leaving an impact on me, and making me, kind of restructure my thinking in that. And so I'm thankful that I decided to take my time today to do spiritual training in replace of my physical training. because I'm really good at doing the physical training and making time for that. But this side has to come with it as well, in order to be able to keep carrying on what He wants us to do and to have fulfillment and clarity in life, in this life, here on earth. So we got to stay connected to Him. So, all right. Well, I'm curious as to what type of training you are going to be doing today.